Just so you know, our filming is going live now, so if you have any
things you want to
it
say.
starts recording.
You want us to move? Or
If you have anything you say that you shouldn't make once recorded,
You're welcome.
So it is 6:30 on today, the 4th for this extraordinary meeting of Oakham Town Council. Welcome everyone. So without further ado, on to item number 1, the apologies and reasons for absence. Have we had anyone? Declaration of members' interest and any applications from any application for dispensation. Anyone want to register anything this evening? No? Splendid. Deputations from the members of the public. Councillor Payne, do you have anything to say today?
At this moment in time, no sir, but possibly later.
Lovely, yes, we will. I think in the interest of opening the floor up, we will. I'll perhaps open a time for public consultation at the time that I suspect you both may want to say something. Splendid. Very, very good. So, item number 4, to declare efficacy and accuracy of the minutes from last meeting, 14th of January. Oh, sorry.
14th. No. This is our 7th of January.
It does there, but I'm looking at the...
Yeah, the actual minutes is the 14th.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to... Okay, good.
Anyone objecting to that or have anything to say about it?
No.
So in that case, I shall propose therefore that we accept those as being a true and accurate reflection of the minutes of the 14th of January meeting. Anyone second that? Councillor Brooks, thank you. All those in favour? That's unanimous, thank you.
Sorry, Chairman, I may be getting, I was talking about this earlier, but I don't think Councillor Harris was at that meeting. Were you at our last meeting? Sorry.
I sat here opposite.
Oh, sorry, I was confused in a discussion. Sorry, I apologise for the
Is it next
interruption.
meeting you're not here?
Yes.
Because we were talking about holidays.
Right, isn't it? Remember the flag.
I apologise.
You're very young for it to happen to you.
Thank you.
Lovely.
It happens to me all the time.
I'm 60 soon.
Alright, so on to then item number 5, I believe, is the transfer of funds. Into funds.
I think it was the meeting before he was in Italy.
Yep. This is a very simple motion. It's about the fact that obviously we've now got, thanks to the council asked for, and we've now got a Unity Bank account. For those new members who are here, the reason we're doing this is HSBC is a single signatory. We cannot get double signatories on it. So we've decided many moons ago to move to Unity. We now have opened Unity. This will be effectively our savings account, not our actual. Lloyds will remain the current account that we use on a day-to-day basis. This will be another savings account. We obviously have the Cambridge also. So all I'm asking here is for you to allow me to transfer the HSP funds from that to Unity. It will take some while because there is a restriction on the number of thousands of pounds you can do in a day, but we'll get there. So that's all it's about. We've already, and I'll just say we've already done what I call a rat run. In other words, just check the connection works and it's there. So it's in Unity about £200 at the moment.
Splendid. So that's
Yep.
doing the vote on that one. Oh, Councillor Waddle.
Just how much are we transferring? Are we emptying the HSBCs and shutting them down?
You'll see for obvious reasons it's never a good idea to shut totally down HSBC, especially being, I think this is the last meeting we talked about our friends in the VAT.
Yes, we did, yes.
So what we're doing is just keeping it open with a trickle system and then just seeing if anything pops up and then correcting it. So obviously, for instance, we've now we've got the Cambridge, the Unity Bank up with the Cambridge interest goes to HSBC at the moment, we'll transfer it so it goes to the Unity Bank, which is the right place for savings to go. So slowly but surely, Councillor Wadsworth, we'll, over the course of the next few months, we'll check and make certain everything's shut, and then we'll leave it with a small nominal amount so it can't do any harm, just in case something pops up there again. For instance, there's all kinds of little things that would occur. But as I say, you'll see that in next week's, I nearly said tomorrow's, next week's agenda, you'll see how there are little things still popping up in HSBC current account which we need to deal with on a timely fashion.
Yes, thank you very much for that.
Chairman.
Councillor Brooks?
Yeah, I obviously have some questions. Well, the first one was already asked. I understand from our financial regulations that when we authorise these transfers, we're supposed to authorise an amount, not as the proposal says here. The council needs to consider approval of the transfer of the majority of the funds from HSBC to Unity. Well, what's the majority? And the other thing, can I finish, please? Also, it was said this evening that the council agreed this some time ago. The council did not agree to open a bank account with Unity. The council has only formally, since I've been here, agreed to open an account with the HSBC, sorry, the Lloyds Bank. And we were told that when that came to council, that the HSBC would be closed. And what I want to know, with all this business of saying that we're going to keep this account open and that account open, why did we not use the banking switching service, which guarantees almost unlimited time of any money coming in goes to your new account? So I would like to know the minute, because I've been to all the meetings where we agreed this account. I've seen no evidence of this account. And if it's in the brackets there that we're talking of a sum in the region of £350,000, I want some assurance that that money is going into a council account before I agree it. Because I haven't agreed for that account.
I think it was prior to your arrival on the council, Councillor Brooks.
So I can't find it. The only one I could find was when the council agreed to transfer into a new account at the Melton Building Society 3 years ago. Councillor Ainsley was on it, £80,000. I was on the council then, and it's probably more than 3 years, but it never happened. So what I'm saying is that this is public money, and a large amount of public money, and nothing has been given to us apart from a note. It's not satisfactory. It doesn't comply with any audit trail. We need a figure to approve. It clearly says in our financial regulations that you need approval, and all this business on our statements of £10,000, sorry, I'm getting a bit... being transferred each time.
You've gone past 3
But you're not the chairman, sorry. So I will wind up, but why can't we even go to Lloyds Bank and say, we've got a new account, please transfer the money? For someone to sit there day after day, that's 35 days you've got to transfer that, if that is the amount. So all I'm asking is that we seriously consider whether we're actually allowed to even approve this paper, because it doesn't give a clear figure. And I'll shut up.
Thank you, Councillor Brooks.
Can I answer some of the things?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're absolutely correct, Councillor Brooks, you weren't here, but Councillor Paul Ainsley was, and I know we approved opening the Unity account. That was all we approved because we were in a situation where HSBC had single signatories on.
Yeah.
Right, but we moved on from that, and then the council changed their minds, quite right, it's within their opinion, and decided on Lloyds to be the current account, because obviously we have a bank of sorts in the town. With Unity, it's a purely network-driven bank account, which we felt was not ideal for a council of this standard. So that was the decision of the council again. We tried Switch before. Switch. And I can assure you, Switch is a nightmare. If you get one signatory wrong, and the spelling's wrong or anything, it all fails. And then the bank says you have to sort it all again and start from it. And that's why Lloyds to HSBC took us 3 months to sort out in the end, because an HSBC, I can tell you, are really difficult. What banks are difficult in my opinion. As John Councillor Harris will tell you, they are difficult to deal with, and that's why we're doing it. 350k is what I'm looking for, authorisation. That will leave some sums in there for us to just keep the account going. And that's all I'm asking for at the moment. And this is a transfer. This is going from one bank account that we own to another bank account that we own. So that's as simple as that.
Can I just have my right quick reply? Because the other issue is that we've not mandated the signatories to this account.
Yes,
No, we haven't. I had to fight to get Lloyds Bank mandated by this council earlier in the year because they didn't do it. One of those signatories has left the council. We have not reviewed this year the HSBC signatures. We're just relying on the fact that we had signatories, and all I want is for this council, particularly when it comes to money and the protection of public money, is to do it properly. And I'm sorry if I'm getting agitated, because now I've learnt you want to transfer £350,000. Why is it not in the proposal, which is the requirement for us to consider? You know, it's a contradiction, because you're saying the majority, and I will shut up now, but I want to know why we don't have signatories approved by this council, any knowledge of where this bank is, anything.
What do you mean where this bank is?
Well, who are they? I wasn't on the council. Paul has the privilege of knowing it, but anyone sitting around the table doesn't know. I was told today that actually we weren't going to go with them because they're not actually a good bank by one of our members. So it just suddenly changed now, this month, that we now use them. And we get this appalling paper.
Thanks for your opinion, Councillor.
Well, it is. We're legally required to ensure that this is followed standing orders and financial regulations, Chairman. It doesn't. So if we're going to transfer £350,000, someone needs to make that proposal, if they're willing, I'm not, to that bank account, and it has to be clearly minuted for the internal auditor that we haven't even had that was agreed.
Has anyone else got any thoughts on the matter?
Right.
I'd like to propose that we itemise that there's £313,299 in the HSBC current account, so we will subtract 310,000. And then we have in the business account, we have another 49,879, so I suggest that we actually take out 49,000 from that one as well. So that grand total £353,000.
Okay.
63, sorry.
That's more than the figure that's...
My personal...
I've got it in front of me.
As much as I appreciate it, my thoughts are that we're perhaps, and this is no reflection on you, Mark, I think that you've brought something that I am aware of. Unity Bank has been on the cards for a long time, and that has been in discussion for a long time. It's not just a new thing. However, I do feel that let's not do this on the hoof and decide on figures at this time, and I'll suggest that we defer this with a bit more fleshing out till the next meeting. So that's my proposal. If anyone else cares to second that.
Okay, I can't come to the next meeting, it's too late.
No,
after then.
I think it is.
It's only Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday.
Is there an urgency to do it?
Yes.
Sorry, Chairman, I don't see the urgency, because this has been on the cards for how many years, when the auditors have told us we shouldn't have all the money in one account? You know, it's not a new thing. This has been going on for probably 5 or 6 years.
Thanks, Councillor Brooks. Yeah,
before your time.
Well, I've done 5 years. So that's my proposal. We visit this either if it's got time on the next meeting, if not, and if we've got too full an agenda for this upcoming meeting, we visit this in the March meeting.
Yep.
What's the proposal?
So the proposal is that we defer, postpone until either the next upcoming meeting if there's time, if not, the one in March, so I'm going to say the March meeting actually, for us to visit this with a little bit more fleshing out, if that's all right, Clark. Let's have all of the details in front of us, circulated to all of the councillors, just putting everyone's mind at rest. So we're looking at sort of account numbers.
No, we can't give account.
We're looking at amounts primarily.
Yeah,
And the signatories.
and see.
And the signatories.
Can we also add the thing of reviewing the signatures? Because the HSBC wasn't done at the beginning of the year, so it would probably be, the fact we've lost a signature, it would be a good point to review all of them, the 3 accounts. Because we are required to do that annually.
If we're going to have a paper, why not?
We may as well
So
do it
it's
all at one
no
time.
skin off anyone's nose to visit this, is it?
I'll second your motion.
I want to.
Yeah, because I want an audit that actually comes back
Lovely.
good this year.
Any of those in favour?
Yeah.
So we've got, there we are, that's unanimous, thank you.
It's hard.
Lovely. On to then, item number 6, the UK Town of Culture application.
It is.
If you care to take us away.
Evening all. So this is about the UK Town of Culture. It's a strategic step that could place Oakham on a national cultural map. The Department for Cultural Media and Sport has opened the competition for the UK Town of Culture 2028. The deadline for expressions of interest is a very tight deadline. Expressions of interest is 31st of March 2026. Not to be confused when the competition is actually going to be run in the year 2028. This gives us a real window to showcase Oakham's heritage, creativity and community spirit. To do this properly, we need a focused structure, and the proposal is that we establish a UK Town of Culture Committee with delegated authority to lead our participation, coordination and engagement with partners, develop the expression of interest and manage the project within the agreed initial seed budget. A provisional seed budget of £4,000 to £6,000 is recommended to support engagement, cultural mapping, design work and specialist expertise. And this early investment is focused on developing a strong initial expression of interest, and further funding will almost certainly be required as the bid progresses. It provides Oakham with the structure, tools and capacity needed to compete seriously and to tell our story with confidence, and I think that's the most important thing. Thank you all. I commend this paper.
So we will hear from the councillors and then I'll open up to, I'll move to suspend standing orders shortly so that we can hear from your fine selves in the audience.
Public gallery.
Are we standing up?
Yes, please.
I just wonder whether we shouldn't have a budget of £6,000. I'm never quite sure what the range of between 4,000 and 6,000 is. If it's 4,000, it's less under budgeted. It's within. I would have thought within £6,000 would be a perfectly adequate way to describe this.
Thank you.
Councillor Brooks.
Yes, I must compliment Councillor Ainsley on the paper because there's been a lot of work done, because as you know, I saw about this about a week ago, and the first I saw of it was criticism of the town council in a media outlet, and I was just as surprised to see that as probably many other people were. But I do have a serious concern about this, the timescale. 55 days from today, when we're being asked to correctly have a committee which will be required to give the statutory notice for meetings to set up the working group. That's going to take 8 days at least out of this. So I'm trying to keep this brief, and this is my favourite because Paul always picks up on it. Where's the £6,000 coming from, Paul? The budget. We haven't budgeted for it. We might have done if it was last October, when the government tells me that they told our wonderful Rutland County Council, but they say no, they didn't. So we won't get into that. But then I come to the costings, and I'm just going to pick out one because I've looked at this quite carefully, and yes, it will be future costings. But I don't see that putting in the initial application should be costing us anything really, from what I read, particularly like engaging, which this is the problem as well I see with getting the engagement. You know, I emailed a school, won't say the name, to come to an event. 2 months it took the school to reply to us last year. So to get all the people involved in 55 days seems a mammoth task to me. But also, why is it going to cost? I'm just going to pick that out. Why is it going to cost between £500 and £1,000 to talk to them? Are we giving them champagne? What are we giving them? You know, because the government just wants to know in the report that we've spoke to the stakeholders, I think is the word they use, and community. Everybody's got to be spoken to, and this is the disappointing thing, that we only have 55 days. Design and layout branding, that's, I think, jumping the gun a bit, because that comes at the next stage, because funding, from what I gather, and I'm not always right with things because there was a lot to read on the government side, if our application is accepted, we get £60,000, which would cover things for that, I would believe. So the application process is pretty well covered for, and I don't understand why we need a budget for, and I couldn't see anything that anybody like Stamford had been paying out lots of money to put in their bid, because I think they're the only people in the area, because it's a different council, who knew before we did, because as the media said, you know, they're already working on it. So anyway, I'll shut up about that, and I think, yeah, that was it. It's just very disappointing that it's such, we weren't told, and it's such a short period of time. And I will have a dig. You know, we spent over 365 days on trying to rescue Victoria Hall, and I've walked past it twice this week.
That's not
we can't even do that.
That's not
That's a difficult one. That's a difficult
Yeah, but it's closed.
And your call, Martin.
And if I might take this opportunity, do you support the idea, Martin?
I do. I've just said that, haven't I? I support it, but the time.
Given the time scale that we have been given, not that we've allocated to it, what's the alternative?
We haven't been given that time frame. What we've decided, or somebody decided, to bring us all out our homes to go for it. Now, if they want to do it, then great, I will support it, but I am not going to be involved in that, because realistically, I cannot see. It takes me a week to get an email answered from this council. You know, I can't see that we can do it.
Perhaps other people
I mean, maybe they would prove me wrong, but I'm disappointed that we weren't told last October, where we could have had the committee, and I probably would have said, great, let's get involved, let's call Arts for Rutland in, let's have this in, and all the things we've got to do, we would have been able to arrange, and we'd be sitting in a meeting tonight saying, by the way, it's February, next month we're putting our application in, this is all we've done.
Thanks, Councillor, we weren't, unfortunately. Anyone else care to make
It's not our fault.
comment? Exactly. So, anyone else care to comment? No? Okay. Would anyone like to make a proposal support it?
Are we going to have to pay for it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies.
I want to be polite.
Thanks very much for the reminder, and I will move then to mitigate standing orders for
I will listen.
a period of
Thank
time. Do I have a seconder? Thank you very much, Councillor
Thank you.
Wadsworth. All those in favour of suspending standing orders momentarily?
Spending
Thank you.
Okay, first question. Does this council want it? That's the first question this council has to ask itself. Do we want to do this? Second question, if we want to do this, can we do this? Short time scale means you may have to cut a few corners. You may have to put statutory in a little box occasionally to move something forward. It's been done many times. What's the advantages to Oakham getting this? What's the advantages to even trying for this? Now, have you had that discussion? As a group, have you had that discussion? Because that, to me, is where it starts. If you've not had that discussion, then I think you should have it very quickly, in the next couple of days. Because that discussion will, I think, bring a natural answer, and then you know where you all stand. Because you've all got to be on board with it. Because if you're not, even passively, if you're not, then you're making things more difficult for yourself than they are already. Yes, the time scale is poor, something's gone wrong somewhere. That's hardly a surprise to any of us who've been a background in local government, so that shouldn't be a shock, right? It's always crisis management. It has been the last 10, 15 years, as we've been systematically underfunded all that time. So that's the part that explains that. But you as a group, you need to decide, do you want to do this or not?
That's the purpose of tonight's meeting. Sure.
Excellent.
Hi everybody, for those who don't know me, I'm Councillor Rosemary Powell, Rutland County Council. I'm an independent, but I'm on the cabinet of the Lib Dems, and my portfolio is economic development and property, heritage and culture. So that's the reason for sort of coming along tonight. So I would echo what Councillor Payne has said, and it is a decision for you as Oakham Town Council. Obviously, as a portfolio holder with that interest, you know, if you need a letter of support for the bid, if you decide to do it, then that's what Rutland County Council, and we're all, you know, I'm passionate about actually, you know, the economic development in Oakham and Oakham thriving. Now these schemes are good because it does bring attention to particular towns. I think you've got to be realistic about the competition and chances of getting it, because it takes a heck of a lot of work. But you may see that there are benefits in just doing it, in terms of just getting everyone together and starting the process. But I think, it needs realism. As a council, we will give you, you know, we will support. We'd have to talk very carefully about any other support that was needed, because we are full on with our own capital programmes, as you're aware, subject to the budget. Next week we've got a big capital programme for the public realm in the town centres, and also for the museum in terms of heritage and culture. So we're driving that in the context of local government reorganisation. So yeah, it'd be fantastic if Oakham Town Council wants to do it, but that realism, and I think the challenges from Councillor Payne about what benefits, but also think about what benefits it might give you getting so far along the line. But I think that everyone amongst you will realise what is actually involved in doing that. And I don't want to be negative, because I think it would be, you know, a really good thing and actually might help to bring people together. But I think it's the realism of what you need to do to actually put it in. It will be very competitive, but it might be worth just getting those conversations going if you've got the energy and the time amongst you to actually apply yourself to doing it. So, but we, you know, as the county council, we would be fully supportive if that's what you decide to do.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd, if I might chuck in my tuppence, I'm glad to see there is a budget. Whether we spend it or not is neither here nor there, but it's good that it will be considered. I think that we have a good amount of brain power in this council and a good amount of time-rich council as well. I'm just perusing for something. We have some that are sort of more time-rich than others, but certainly very diligent councillors, and I think some of you all that get the book between your teeth are quite formidable. So yeah, I personally support the fact that we could go for a bid for this. I think it's something worth getting potentially. A little bit more detail would be good to understand from my perspective, but I certainly think this is something we could do.
I think if you start to think about the culture which is around us, as in Oakham, there'll be quite a list. Quite a list of things which we can shout about, we can brag about, and not trying to do a double negative, but it's almost a duty to do so, to go for it, given all these things which are around us. It's not a reason to do it, but I think there's probably quite a backlash if little towns around us have gone in for it, and people say, well, why didn't you do it? That's not a reason to do it, but it's something to consider, because I think there's a fabulous opportunity. I don't deny there will be a lot of work to do. There'll be a lot of hurdles to overcome. But I actually think it might be quite fun.
Splendid.
Shall I just intervene a little bit here? Just,
Can we hear from Councillor Jones first and then,
of course, I didn't see that.
Sorry, shall I stood up? I thought you were on.
No.
No.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think that if you look at Oakham, and what we have to think about is, how far do we go out from Oakham? We have to be very careful to keep Rutland and Oakham separate. I don't know if Uppingham are considering something, but you know, they are.
Yeah.
Well, in that case,
Change their mind.
I think no.
well, I mean, I don't know whether it's irrelevant, but what we just need to be a little bit careful about is making sure that we tell the story of Rutland in a way that's Oakham centred. And of course, it's relatively straightforward in terms of the castle and things like that. But I do think we have such a unique story here. We've got history going back till, forever. And we've also got lots going on right now, so we have to make sure we're looking forward as well as back. And there's so many things that we could do. I agree. I think it will be very fun. I agree the time scale is difficult, but this is an EOI. This isn't the actual application, right? This is 11 sections of 400 words each. Now, that shouldn't be too difficult, and I think we owe it to the people of Oakham to actually put something in. Whether we spend the money or not, I don't really know that we will do, but I think we should at least give it a go.
Yeah. Would you mind if we hear from the clerk and get up something to say, and then we'll come straight back to you?
I know clerks are not meant to give opinions, but I'm wholeheartedly behind this. It's rather, in a way, it's parallels to something that was also poo-pooed at some stage or other, neighbourhood plan. When the neighbourhood plan came to Oakham, I know there were many people who thought it was a bad idea. You have no idea the benefits it's given us with SIL money over the last few years. It's putting together, even if we fail, and I hope we don't, putting it together and telling the story is what Oakham deserves, as you said, Councillor Nichols. And even if we get that together and get the culture, get the history together and put it together, I think it will power us forward as a council and show that we care about Oakham. And I do. I don't live here, but I care deeply about it. And it's about time Oakham, you never know, we could win. Why shouldn't we? We've got the castle, we've got lots of historic evidence throughout the community here that I think needs to be unearthed and put into a document. And let's do it. Let's give it a chance and see what the government think. I think they might come, you might be surprised, because there is a lot we could do more here, in my opinion.
Councillor Clark.
No question from me as well. Sorry.
Yeah, so we'll move to
Including
Chris.
communities. I just pick up the point that was said earlier on. As a council, we really do need to do this for the people of Oakham, but also whatever work we do, how successful we are with the expression of interest, the work that we do will benefit the work that we do within the county, within the town anyway. And I think we did the neighbourhood plan some while ago, as you know, but it'd be a good time to look at what's going on in Oakham, see how we might be able to build that into this project, but also just for our own benefit to find out what matters to the folk here.
Come on.
Let's hear from Councillor Harrison then, yeah.
Final statement.
Do we think we could count on the support of Rutland County Council?
Said she would.
Head on the block here.
Yeah.
Certainly sounded like it.
I think, we would definitely support it. We obviously have our own projects that tie in with that, but we would certainly send a letter of support for the initial thing. But we'd have to work out how we were working together if it goes any further.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And you are driving forward with the museum as we speak.
Yeah. So that's
Which is
that's an aligned
Yeah.
thing that is happening.
Yeah.
The museum, cultural centre.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing? No, we haven't got standing order, so I'll be good. I won't say anything I shouldn't. I'm hearing from here, so well, I know Paul wants, I've just learned that Paul wants to say something else, so I'd be happy to support this and do the proposal. But what I want to know is that once people commit, they're going to do it, because when I was on the council last time, I put a lot of effort into a national lottery heritage grant application for Melton Road. And it took me a lot of work with another councillor, and this council, not the members here now, completely destroyed it.
What's the relevance then?
Yeah,
Well, this is my doubts that I'm not having
So
to go.
you're doubting the people here?
No, I just
that
said
we
it
might
wasn't,
do it
but this
because
is
you're
why I
referencing
had.
back to something happened.
No, I'm trying to explain my reason for my doubts, but I then said I've heard tonight that there are people here who are going to do it, and I hope that you will do it if I propose this evening that you can do it. So it's not a bad thing
Does
to
that include
say.
yourself?
No, I don't want to be involved because I've got enough with the parks. So I have enough with the parks and the policies for our events. and everything. I can propose it.
Just one, Martin, just a point. What Councillor Nichols said earlier is getting lost a little. What you're talking about is a scoping document.
Yes.
You're not actually doing the whole thing. You're jumping into a pond you haven't got to get into yet. The first thing is to what exactly is required
A lot
next.
of things. There's a lot of work to do.
But not as much as you might think.
I just can Marion seated. I did actually some research before we pushed the paper together, and I pulled together 6 sides here, which I think are circulated to certain people.
Why
And
not?
I just want. Have you done?
This is the problem, Paul. You
No, it
said
isn't the
certain
problem.
people. You should share everything with everybody.
Councillor Brooks, thank you. So I looked at the thing, and I came up with what I call the 6 cultural pillars, which are slightly more now. The Ketton mosaic is obviously a very interesting thing. We've got the Rutland Ichthyosaur and the museum project. We have the Queen Edith Festival, which I think is really worth looking at again, because I had several emails, well, one email about that. The Rutland Sickle Race, not strictly on song, collaboration with Oakham Schools Heritage and Identity. So Oakham's historic core, the Oakham Castle, Sir Geoffrey Hudson, Victoria Hall, Burley House, Centenary Field, it goes on. I mean, there's so much happening in this town, and if we, as a group, once we get to the vote for the committee, we get active members in the committee, we divvy up the paper that's got to be submitted for the expression of interest, and and Martin's very much saying this can't happen because of the timescales. I think we need to prove him wrong, that it can happen. And the expression of interest, what does it do? Even if we're not successful, which I think we have every chance to be successful, it pulls the community together. It provides a focus. Remember that this is not until 2028. So between the submission of the expression of interest and 2028, well, I don't know when they're going to select it. I think it was a year. So we have 12 months in which to actually ratify this whole the whole cultural identity that we're going to propose to push forward, and it will unite the community. Yeah. There's so many people who haven't got a clue what's happening here, as I don't. When you sit down and count it up, this town has got a huge history, and actually I'm all in favour of involving Place Uppingham, if they so wish, Barleythorpe, because that increases our representation of the electorate of Rutland. So, and I know that's been done before. We were talking to people who submitted bids for Canterbury just the other day, and they were saying that that's absolutely the right thing to be doing. But that's to be discussed by the committee. It's not a foregone decision. I am wholeheartedly in favour of this. I recognise the difficulties in getting the EOI in by the 31st of March. That shouldn't stop us. That is not a reason not to proceed. So I fully endorse this. I'd like to see a budget cap of 6k. If we don't spend it, Martin, you can cheer heartily. But I do feel that if we don't have a budget, we'll find ourselves having to come back to council and delaying the whole process. We're not going to be electing irresponsible members. We have a cap. We have terms of reference. We have ideas for budget. And let's get on with it.
Absolutely.
Let's get on with it.
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to make a proposal, and that is that we... No, I don't. I'm proposing that we go back into...
Oh, right, sorry.
And then I can propose.
That we restore standing order. Is anyone seconding that?
Not other
Councillor
towns.
Clark was quick off the... I don't know what Martin's doing there.
Hey, Martin's waiting.
All in favour of returning to... I think that's unanimous. Yes, thank you. Lovely. Okay.
Stories in the community.
So, is that a proposal?
I'd like to propose that we accept first of all that we're going to proceed, then we actually elect people to the committee, and then we can quickly appoint a chair and get the ball damn well moving.
Can I second that?
Point wants to...
So,
1 to 3. So...
1, 2, 3, which is what it was designed to do.
So, to vote on proposal 1, delegates the authorities of the committee to develop, approve and submit the EOI.
I look at the right paper.
There we are, that's... Councillor Ainsley proposed it.
Yeah, you second.
So I'll second it.
Right.
All those in favour?
Yeah.
Look at that, everyone. Okay, item number 2, that we appoint a minimum of 3 councillors with non-voting external advisors and authority committees to work a group with external representatives and firms that will operate within the approved terms of reference.
Budget and report to council.
And I propose.
Councillor Clark has proposed, seconded by Councillor Harris. All those in favour?
So can we have the votes for the...
Yeah,
Sorry.
and let's do that. So, would anyone like to put themselves forward? Now,
How many do you want?
Four.
Minimum
We've got 4.
so we've
Perfect.
That's it.
got 4 there. So, have we got a vote you all in?
Yes.
So I'll propose that we accept the 4 volunteers. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Ainsley. All those in favour of the fabulous 4?
Who are the 4?
They should pay attention, Councillor John Ringo.
John and John.
I'm having to write it down.
John, Jonathan,
All John, and Chris.
Councillor Ainsley,
That's-
That's fine.
That's carried, whether it's unanimous or not is down to Councillor Brooks.
Sorry.
It's unanimous, there we are.
It's because I was looking at, we hadn't approved point 3.
No, we're about to do
Not that
that.
now.
So on to item number 3, that we approve a provisional budget of £6,000.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And perhaps we should call it a cap.
A cap.
But that's expressly stated, so...
It is. Councillor Clark, I believe, has suggested that.
Yeah.
Councillor Bosworth, are you seconding?
Yeah.
Can I ask where it's coming from, please?
Reserves. General reserves.
That's my favourite word here, general reserves.
What's that
It's
going
literally
out?
four reserves, generally.
Yeah.
Well, it's 4.
All those in favour?
Yeah, but that's because we don't budget.
Martin, are you voting or
I'm
chattering?
voting against it, 'cause I don't see the
Those
need.
against?
No, I don't need it recorded.
One.
I don't
Lovely,
see
so
the
that has
need for it.
carried almost unanimously.
Great.
And I read
Congratulations,
the
everyone.
thing.
Hopefully
I don't
that's
see-
a
It
fantastic
may not
step
get spent.
forward.
No, hopefully it won't.
It may not.
Okay,
we have
item
to have
number
something
7.
there.
Another one from busy reading is Councillor Ainsley.
Yeah.
The adoption, you can take it away.
Yeah, so, do I need to stand, if I don't mind? Feeling a little bit pooped. Thank you.
Give you a medical exam.
Yeah, if I need a medical examination to prove I need to see.
Exemption.
Yeah, exemption. Gov.uk Notify. So one of the things that we can do, of course, in this modern age is actually use text messaging in support, particularly when we're thinking about things like the survey, which has been written but not yet published. They offer a free service. We just enrol and we're allowed then to actually send texts and receive text. We have to get a consent from the individuals that we're sending text to that they can receive them, but that will be hopefully when we do a mail drop, should it be approved at committee, to actually push out the leaflets and we then get the survey going, we can actually get confirmation that we can send them text. So the point is, this is not about authorisation, this is saying that we use the government notify service, free service, to actually allow us to handle SMS messages, both inbound and outbound.
How does it work?
Website, basically. So you give them a list, a CSV or similar, separated with the number and the message, or the message, and then you submit that to them. They send it out within a certain time period. I can't remember the exact times anymore. And then they give you a portal, and you go onto the portal, and you then see the responses that have come back. So, and from what I saw on the website, there's lots of help and love and kisses to get us through that initial transition as we try to embrace this new wonderful technology.
Could I just say something?
Very good.
It's only very quickly. The reason this is very useful, and I know other councillors use this, what they set up is what they call a survey team. So in other words, they pick residents and get residents who want to be involved, rather like NHS do with GP practice. They have people who are their touchstone. So the idea is you get a group of emails who are willing to be part of this community, preferably try and get the ages right and everything, and then you go out and continually say, we're thinking of this, what's your opinion? And you can continually do that for this for free, which is
It's a very good service.
yeah. And it gives us, that means if we have an opinion on even the town of culture, we could have sent it out now and say, what do you think of us doing the town of culture? And got back 100 people in Oakham saying yes or no, just like that.
If I could just add one quick aside to this, if I may. So the Gov Notify actually additionally has a method of sending out letters by post to named addressees, etc. So I thought I'd do the sums on what we might need to do for Oakham, and it was prohibitively expensive. So that element of the service wasn't welcome, but the element regarding SMS was entirely free and looked very feasible.
Councillor Brooks.
Yeah, I looked it up and I've read it. It's not going to cost us anything, which is good. But there was one addition on there which sent a little alarm bells, because when I read the government site, it says you can only use it for council workings, which is surveys and things. But on the end here, it just says bookings of hall. Well, we don't have a hall. We might do. But I then come across the risk of that. There's a lot of data protection and things, and the fact that this is publicly funded and GDPR. There's a commercial, I can never say the word, quasi-commercial problem with attaching the hall to it. It was the word that came up, because the ICO, which is the Information Commission Officer, monitor this for the government. And if we do, which is probably what you want to do, confirm bookings, that's fine. But if we go down the road of putting in things like, thank you for your booking, would you like the bar open, would you like
Michael, that's so far down track. We haven't even got.
No, what I'm saying is that we would then be probably be in trouble. So I'm just wondering why the hall, even before we've even made a decision on the hall.
We haven't.
Why is the hall on it? Yes, it is. It's been slipped on the end. So I would like that removed at this stage, so that it is only used for council business, and then I won't have a problem with it.
First one.
First bullet point, Councillor, in terms of benefits to OTC.
So could we not have that removed?
It does say if required, and if it's not required, it's not required. I don't see it. But if that makes you happy, Martin, I'm quite happy.
Yeah, please, because when we get things if required, people tend to accept that from as agreed.
The easiest thing, Chair, if it's possible, is just remove the word hall. Sure.
At this stage.
Bookings for here.
Yeah, at this stage it's fine. If that, I'd be very happy then to support.
Just take the word hall.
So,
okay, let's do that and let's go.
So I'll move that we support item. Sorry, was there Councillor Nichols?
Yeah, it's just a quick question really. We've talked about text messages, but it actually mentions emails as well. So would we primarily use emails or text messages, and do we have the email addresses and all the information?
Well, I don't think we have much data at all, so it's going to be gathered in the surveys.
There's a whole opt-in procedure, so we roll out presumably via socials and any other touch points that we decide.
I'm not going down the reason we can use it is one email database we've got is all retailers. We've got an email database with about 50, 100 emails, and obviously if we got their permission we could send out something about an event or whatever and see what they thought. So we've already got one email database. The idea would be to go from there, and Sally Ann knows about it. You're on it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I'm on that data.
Splendid. Okay, so I shall certainly move then that, move for item number 1, that Town Council approves the adoption of Government UK. And sorry, am I stealing your...
No, please do.
No, thank you. So I'll propose that. Anyone seconding? Councillor Clark, thank you. All those in favour of adoption, point 1, thank you, unanimous. And therefore somewhat predictably. Item number 2, that we authorise the clerk to set up the system and begin collecting resident opt-ins. Oh, proposing that as well. Seconded by Councillor Wadsworth, thank you very much. And all those in favour of point 2's adoption? Unanimous again. Marvellous, thank you. On to item number 8, which is the adoption of Google Workspace. Councillor Ainsley.
Yeah, quite simply, we need a simple to use method of sharing information during the committee's work and for other, and it gives us a common workspace. Google Forms to support the surveys, which have already been written and need to be approved. And actually, if you look at other sites, I'm thinking primarily of sending out questionnaires, etc., that we need to be doing both for possibly the hall and certainly for this KOC. This provides a neat solution for, and I've asked for 8 licenses because it's not every member, it's basically the members of the committee, which I didn't know, plus the office staff, so that's actually 7 currently. And there's the cost. Google, it works very well for sharing workspace, and it's certainly very easy to use. That's why I'm recommending it.
Councillor Brooks, you were first off, Mark.
Sorry about that. I was going to ask the question, why only 8? Because I thought we were going to become efficient council and use it. Since our admin assistant has arrived, we're using the facilities through Outlook, and we get requests now, are we attending this meeting? Are we attending that meeting? And my view of Outlook is that it does most of what Google offers, and we already pay for it, but it's been so poorly set up. As part of my working group with Sally Ann and John, I tried to attempt to set up a group, which the office have on Outlook, and it let me do all the setting up, and then says I went to send an email about the meeting to the people of the group, and it said, sorry, you don't have administrative powers to do this. So we have everything on that Outlook and Office 365. So I'm wondering, and it's all compatible with Google because I use Google Chrome at home and I'm using Outlook.
Can I
So I will shut up. Yeah. So I'm a little concerned that when you look at what they both offer, that we'd be paying again twice just for, it looks like, the committee now. I thought this was for the whole council, and I'm all for it. I wanted that calendar for our meetings, and we didn't. It didn't work. So we need to look at it and I would like the whole council included so that we become more professional. And that was when I talked to somebody about this paper, they said, oh, that's because we're going to share everything. Okay, and then, like tonight, you share the paper with some people, but you could have sent an email saying on this system is an additional comments, and we could have all looked at it. And that's the way I want it to go forward, that we and then to me, there's no problem with it if we didn't have Outlook, and we've got Millennium who haven't set it up properly for us.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Brooks.
Can I just come back on those points? This is no, as it says here in the paper, OTC will continue to use Microsoft 365 for document spreadsheets, non-official email. So we're not trying to replace the email at all. This Google Workspace is being added solely to support consultations and collaborative working. It does not replace or duplicate email services, and whilst wider migration may be reviewed in future, no further changes are proposed at this time. This is simply about collaboration. Operational benefits: Google surveys, Google Forms, shared drives for committees and working groups, Town of Culture, Victoria Hall, etc., etc. Simple tools for public engagement and easy export of survey data. If you want to expand the number of licenses to the, well, how many have you got? 8 plus 3, 11, then that's entirely up
We
to
should
the
have
council.
12 councillors and 3 staff. But
We haven't got that many at present.
I know, but we might.
Well, we can buy them there. So, so initially I'm just suggesting the proposal is approves 8 Google Workspace Business Starter licenses at £47.20 per month. Confirms that Microsoft 365 remains the council's sole email platform, and if you wish to bring that back later to use Google, that's absolutely fine. And authorises the clerk configure Google Workspace and use Google Forms, and shared drive to support consultation and collaborative working. That's the purpose of this paper. So I don't mind an adjustment to the license if somebody wants to propose that, but I think 8 is completely sufficient at this point. We can always add one in later.
Councillor Nichols, you
Well, yeah, it's a point of clarification, really. So we have this Microsoft 365 account, which I think, my experience with, certainly at the university, is that it does all of this anyway. So we've got SharePoint, OneDrive, allows collaborative working. So my question is do we have that kind of service already with the Microsoft account? And if
I knew how to use it, I believe you're correct. I think the issue is, for me, certainly, the issue was when I wrote the surveys, I wrote it in Google because that's the tool, so the forms element of Google's.
Right.
Collaborative working is not, you're not going to be, as a committee, we're not going to be forced down one route or the other. We adopt whichever's the easiest to use. I personally find Google easy peasy. I find Microsoft to be less than easy peasy.
It's all compatible, and but what I would like to get out of this is, sorry, Chairman.
I've spoken on this.
I know, but can I come back and answer?
Well, let's have.
Yeah, sorry.
A question from ask.
You have to forgive my lack of knowledge of this, but is it like SharePoint? Is it Google like SharePoint?
Yes, very similar. It allows you to share all the documents. So you basically pop a document, edit it, and then pop it back.
And then
into
OneDrive is.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Just in answer to Councillor, sorry, but he is correct. We do have the capability. We have Outlook licenses
We do.
for all of you.
and that is
Paul, Councillor Owens is quite right. I'm trying to put this carefully. Google is easier to use than Microsoft. That doesn't mean.
We're not being forced either way. It's forms that I'm really interested in. It's the actual surveys.
It's a question of choice. But yes, we already have licenses, and that's fine.
So my question is, again, I acknowledge that the Google systems are somewhat more pleasing to use sometimes. However, do we have those full 365 accounts that enable SharePoint and collaborative working?
I think.
And are there more cost-effective bolt-ons should we need them?
I don't know for Microsoft 365. I purely started this from the premise that I was working in Google Forms, which I found to write the surveys for the Hall and for UK Town of Culture, and then thought we had a requirement to share. So the idea is simply that we could do this for free as an individual account. That seems slightly to me. So the business starter plan is what is considered sufficient, and I came up with this. So I'm sticking by what I've said, and if the council wishes to force us down the route of Microsoft 365, then that's absolutely fine. But I reserve the right to have a tantrum.
Maybe encourage rather than force.
When it comes to the form,
My last thing. I mean, it's frustrating because I know Paul does a good job when he does his documents, but my frustration is hearing that we are paying for Microsoft. And obviously when our group was set up, I asked the office, because I didn't have the admin thing, could they sort it? It wasn't done. And that is the frustrating thing. We're paying hundreds of pounds a month to Millennium, and we're not using it. And it's not because we don't want to use it, it's because we can't. So, and going back to the thing where Councillor Ainsley has said Google, he can get it free for himself. I'm not suggesting that, but I do remember when we had this issue with emails, the council decided against Google for whatever reason, because that was an option. But it's frustrating that over the years we've paid for Microsoft and it's not being used to its full potential. All we're doing now is email and the recent addition of the calendar. So, but Google is fully compatible. I don't even pay for Office myself at home. I use another piece of software for all my Office provisions, but nobody would know that because it's compatible. So I don't know what the answer is. I would like the admin to get it sorted so that everything works. And if we do need extra, because Google does have different forms, because I have it on my Chromebook, templates and things, so I understand that. But I think the whole thing needs to be looked at.
It does say in the paper, doesn't it? And while wider migration may be reviewed in the future, so the door is open.
Maybe before the future.
Maybe. If somebody wants to bring a paper.
So, would you like to make those proposals, Councillor?
Yes, I'd like to propose exactly as written, for the moment we'll go with 8 licences. It's not beyond the wit of man to actually, or woman, to actually increase the number of licences should that become necessary.
Could I increase it to 9? Because obviously I'm on working groups, and if we are going to use a standard, then there is like one person missing from that, because we have 6 councillors and 3 members of staff who will be using it.
Would you like to propose that as an amendment?
To 9, please.
Seconder? Seconded, so we'll have a vote. Sorry, Chairman, doing your job.
It's all right. So, all those in favour?
What, of 9?
Of 9, yes, of the amendment. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You count those up. Those against? And those abstaining? I shall, because I think it's a jolly good idea to be collaborative, but I'm not quite.
Yeah.
Very good. Lovely, so I think that's the isn't it?
The other, that's number 1, was it? And number 2, 3?
So we're looking at then the proposal, Councillor Ainsley, if you are bringing forward.
Yeah, confirm, I think we need to confirm for the moment that Microsoft 365 remains the Council's sole email platform, and authorise the client to configure Google Workspace and use Google Forms and shared drive to support consultation and collaborative working.
2 and 3 together then.
2 and 3, if you're happy with that, I'm happy.
Could I make a proposal then, if we are going to go down this line, that we actually stop paying the fees for our licences on Outlook, because it appears we're not going to use it.
We're still committed to that, so that's a different paper. If we're going to switch to Google Mail, that's as it says quite clearly, and while wider migration may be reviewed in future, no further changes are proposed at this stage. I think that's clear enough.
So that was